Want to make sure that we're all good. Let me go start a poll. Yeah, so if you guys haven't hit the like button, as soon as you get in here, hit the like button. It does help out the channel. It helps out growth, everything there. I appreciate anybody that shows up. I know I haven't been active lately, and I can tell you all about that within this video as well. But we also want to go through a lot of stuff today. You know, you got kids playing upstairs. One should be going to daycare, but Harper was feeling sick yesterday. So, um, uh, yeah, it's a long week slash weekend. I'll tell you that. Everybody knows that I was going through during the week, and then over the weekend I was going through some more stuff that I don't think I've told anybody yet. So we'll get into that. Let's see, Matthew, you need help. You need help with what? Amazing Mellow, you need help with what? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Cabellin. I'm horrible with names. I'm sorry, but good morning. I can't withdraw my LUNC rewards from Terra Station. Are you doing it on the mobile app? How are you trying to do it? Like, take me through the process of you trying to, withdraw your rewards. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, afternoon, all. Hey, Matt. Done. Thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. Can anyone help, please? Yeah, it just says you are using the mobile app. Try using the desktop application. Desktop application works 10 times better. I know that the mobile app is still not integrated with the new update, from what I understand. So people still have been having trouble doing it through the app. Some people have had success doing it, but it's not something that's the normal way, right? The normal way should be through the desktop application. So if you go through, let me bring it up on the screen. Blah, 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 blah. Go through staking. So yeah, if you go through the desktop application, this is like the easiest way to do it, going through here and then, withdrawing all your rewards from there. So, um, yeah, withdraw all rewards. It was here, I believe, but maybe it's just because it's like smaller. But withdrawing all rewards, let's see if I can do it. Give me a second, and then I'll tell you how many rewards do I have actually? Because I have 134,000 LUNC. So yeah, let me withdraw my rewards, and if I withdraw my rewards, I'll tell you if it's working right now. It should be working. Hopefully that's the right password, actually. I don't know if it is. Yeah, all of my rewards were successfully withdrawn. So through the desktop application, it should work. Yes, you are correct, Matt. With the interest rate hike news coming up today, could we expect the stock market and crypto market to turn red? Well, it all depends on what they do with the interest rate. I didn't know it was today. I thought it was. Is it today? I didn't know it was the 3rd. Let me search for this. Um, it is Fed meeting today. I didn't know it was today. For some reason, I thought it was like the 4th, or like, I don't know why. I've been out of it right now because of everything that's been going on. But with interest rates, it really all depends, right? We know um we've been solidly decreasing in inflation for the past 9 months, and it's probably going to go on to 10 months as well. But the reason why that's happening is because, or part of the reason is because we're seeing interest rates that are increasing, and they continue to increase just to continue to decrease the overall inflation rate. Now, if we end up seeing, rate hikes again, any type of rate hike again, well, then we know we should be set up to probably get back to normal when it comes to inflation, maybe somewhere around 3 point something percent, right? Rather than, being at, 5% where we currently are, where we were last month. So, but then if we don't, it's a thought process where it's like, all right, are we going to see decreased inflation again if we stop the rate hikes? And then that's where we may see a lot of red if it doesn't decrease inflation, if inflation continues to increase. So we will have to see. But either way, I mean, you're looking at, the previous month that you were seeing there. So the rate hikes are for current, but then you see the previous months and how inflation was. So you may end up seeing that continue to decrease. And then the following month, if we are not seeing that increased interest rate and we're seeing that fully settle in, or if we are seeing the increased interest rate and it fully settles in, well, then if we have increased inflation, well, now it's looked at as differently. And it's all based on how people react to it. It's not about whether that decreases the market. It's whether people react in the wrong way. And I honestly think that if we're going to see 10 months of decreased inflation, I mean, that's almost a year of inflation going from a level of 9% down to 5%, maybe even 4 or 3%, which would be fantastic. But it's still not back to normal, right? I consider it around 2 to 3% as a form of normalcy, right? So we will see. Good morning, Matt. I bagged myself 200,000 Jasmy. I'm so excited for it. I'm excited for it as well. I don't know what it's doing right now. I haven't looked at the markets in a couple of days. I have been skimming them a little bit because people have been, hitting me up on Twitter and, also in Discord and everything. And I physically couldn't respond with everything that was going on. So it seems like just things have been insanely busy, just trying to help my brother out and get him a car and stuff. And it's just been a nightmare with this dealership we've been working with. I use Kepler Wallet to collect rewards and transfer my LUNC. It worked well. That's good. It's good to hear. What time is the CPI number? So CPI is not today. You're looking at interest rate information. CPI is about 5%, not including food and energy. Did they take the car back? No, they did not take the car back. We figured out a whole situation. We were going through a lot. I mean, a lot. I will fill you in a little bit. They are going to raise it 0.25% today. Then they are going to pause. So they're going to raise it 0.25% today. Hint at a pause in tightening cycle. Let's see. The Federal Reserve is expected on Wednesday to raise interest rates and perhaps signal a pause in its 14-month tightening cycle as policymakers balance the need to slow inflation against the a pressing set of risk ranging from bank failures to possibility of the U.S. debt default as soon as next month. Investors anticipate that the U.S. central market will follow through with a 0.25% point rate hike at the end of its latest 2-day policy meeting. The policy statement is due to be released at 2 p.m. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell scheduled to speak to reporters half an hour later. So they're looking to do a rate hike and then pause. The expectation, I would imagine, with just this is you have multiple effects, right? So people see this rate hike and they understand that this could be negative towards the market, which means that they might want to get out. However, you have the positive look of it where it's a guaranteed pause. We're going to pause after the fact. And that could be something that's more bullish momentum, because what you are noticing is we have this information that came from the past before this rate hike happened. So when we get this inflation data, was it on the 14th or something? when we get this inflation data there, we should be probably sitting around, let's say, closer to 4%, right? And then if we see another month to where the rate hike is completely active, completely follows through, and lives its life there, then we're also seeing decreased inflation for the next month, to where we will see maybe even 3%, maybe even less than that. We don't know. But what's great is we get back to normal, and whether we start going backwards on this whole interest rate figure or not, I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine as inflation stays the same, we start to decrease those rates. I gotta take a what's it called? Allergy medication, man. Thank you for saying bless you, by the way. What do you think about gold? I'm not really a big fan of gold. I haven't ever gotten into it. The Cronos burn portal vote so far is 89% for, 9% no, and basically less than 1% no with veto. Closes 5:15, threshold has been passed. So yeah, I think that's something that's standard. The way that they're going about that, I would love to see something bigger, but the way that they're going about that, just to fight the increased kind of inflation that you have on the position, it makes sense, right? Just to do that alone really does make sense. For other people that get really, really butthurt about burns, they're looking at it from a level to where I don't want to see any type of burns that are gonna, affect the overall position and be deflationary, because that's not what it's meant to be. That's what people are going to say if it was something more aggressive. But this is something that I feel like will have a benefit. It will be a major benefit, but it won't make a crazy difference in the overall amount that is there. You got to understand that. So that's good. It's a good thing. Oh, look into that for a second. Aiden is upset. Need a sticky note. And we'll figure something out. Let's see. And this is at 2 p.m. I don't know why Hayden was crying. Here's... Huh. All right. Yeah, we're good. All right, so how's everybody doing today? Have you had a chance to hit the like button? If you haven't, please do. It does help out the channel, helps out growth and everything there. Jasmy at $5. Would love that. Obviously, that's at a level to where you would see, if you're looking at a current overall supply, it's going to be tough to get there. But if you're looking at a decreased supply as a form of a lockup for a while, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. Yeah, I need like allergy medication. I can feel it. My throat is itching. I finally hit 60% of my Jasmy goal, and now holding 600K Jasmy. That is phenomenal. I love seeing different goals that people have with certain positions, with something like Jasmy coin or whatever, right? It's not about what I'm doing with my position. It's great to see it's up 4%. It's not about what I'm doing with my position. I give you guys the information of what I see within the position. And, you guys take that information, look into it a little bit more, you make your investments, and more importantly, you make your exit plan. There's a lot of people that will say, I just want to exit at, $5. But throughout that process of it getting to $5, you holding 600,000 Jasmy coin, you know that it's worth, a few $1,000s right now, but it could be worth so much more in the future, in the near future. And just taking those leaps there, getting to 1 cent, getting to 2 cents, getting to 3 cents, or whatever, and then finding a way to get to other levels, it just hits you differently, and you find a way to profit, not based on what I'm doing, but based on what you're doing. Whoa, Richie's Plain Talk, thank you for sending 10 memberships. We will go to members only at some point today, but I have to figure out exactly when that's going to be. Do you know Victor from Reading, PA? You look familiar. I know many Victors, so I would say you have to be more specific, but I don't know if you want to throw all of his information out there, because I do know many Victors, but probably there's a lot of people that I know, like within Reading. Adults, obviously, because I used to be a kid through and play football, and I would know every single kid that's out there, even some adults as well. I knew everybody, how much I played football, how much I was playing in City Park. I played basketball, I played football. I was just everywhere. So I knew a lot of people and still know a lot of people, but you'd have to be a little bit more specific. But thank you for the super chat, I appreciate that. And Richie, like I said, thank you for the gifted memberships. You hold 100,000 Jasmy. Yeah, that's still a lot. I mean, that's still great. Getting up to some of these levels, 600,000, that's awesome. My goal is 500. So is my goal. If it can come back down, I'll find a way to increase that. But right now, I don't want to, because I am up on my overall position for Jasmy coins. So if I go down here, you're going to see that I have, it says I'm up $41. I think this is just for today, performance just for today. So I'm up $41 for that position. If we go into Jasmy coin overall, I should be up, $374. So my average price being 0.0049. I'm not going to raise that. I have 206,000, and I'm going to stick with that. So again, past day's performance, we're looking at $58. And I think that's, we want to see this. The thing that I want to see with Jasmy, and I've said this multiple times, is that I want to see the typical days of hold time increase. If we can see that typical days of hold time increase, hands down, will be a way better position. It goes to 9, it goes to 10. You see people start to hold longer and longer. That's what it's all about, right? Something like if it can get up to the level of ADA or Shiba Inu or Ethereum or whatever in hold time, that would be fantastic. I love supporting this channel, Matt. You have by far the best live stream. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. I try to make it very, very engaging and, break things down, kind of in depth, but also, give you room to make your own decision. Because if I go into every position and go, Jasmy is amazing, look at where it is right now, this is a perfect buy zone, let's go ahead and buy at this moment, and we all start buying right now, that's not something you should do. You should be able to make your own decision, because if I'm not here, just like I was multiple days, I feel like people can make their own decision on something that is there, just based on some of the things that I have brought up and some new things that they bring to the table. So that's what I try and do. And I see that every day, not only in your channel and the different investments that you're investing in, but also in other people that are making these investments that, they may hold more than me, and maybe they have the same exit plan as me, but just with a larger amount, or they have a different exit plan to where they're like, I can accept earlier because I know that I'm gaining a lot more profit earlier. Does that make sense? How much SHIB needs to drop a zero? How much SHIB needed to drop a zero? I think it depends on how much is bought. I don't know if that's what you're asking. Hey Matt, been a fan for a while. Keep up the good content. Would you consider as diamond hands for Jasmy? Would I consider diamond hands for Jasmy? So no, I wouldn't consider anything. I wouldn't consider anything diamond hands. The way that I think of diamond hands, right? a lot of people are like, look, you got to hold on forever and you got to just hold. You never like press that buy button. Diamond hands means that you're just, your hands are stuck in diamonds, right? It's stuck kind of like frozen. It's not going to, touch that mouse or that sell button. But in reality, no. If you have diamond hands, in my opinion, I feel as though you are holding on to a long-term investment for a certain amount, but you should always have something left over to see what it is, right? To see what it will be. It doesn't mean that you have to hold on to your entire investment forever. And people get that very, very confused. It means you have a certain amount within your investment that you will not sell because you want to hold on to it as if it's a collectible, as if it's something that's going to gain a crazy amount of value and hold that value for a long time. Now with Jasmy coin, I've gone through my spreadsheet, and you see always in the end with every single spreadsheet that I have, I always leave some at the end. Why do I leave some at the end? Because I'm going to put it into a ledger. I don't even know where I don't even know if ledger stacks came out yet. I got to check that. Because I should have received one if it did. It may have gotten delayed. But with all of my positions, I'm going to hold on to some at the end and hold it into a ledger, put it aside, never touch it again, right? Something to where you're like, all right, this is going to gain a ton of value and you don't want to see it, because if you see it, then you're going to sell it. That's what I have here. And I think that's what diamond hands is. But for everything else, you have more profit hands, right? You're looking to gain profit throughout the process. When you get to that point where a certain amount is going to be diamond hands, is going to be, holding for the investment gain, the overall value gain, then that's great. But you have to take profit throughout the process in order to feel successful during that, right? You can have diamond hands, or the old definition of diamond hands, all you want, but you'll never actually gain anything realized, Hey Matt, thanks for your honest YouTube movies. I mean, I wish they were movies. My golf videos could be considered movies. They go like 45 minutes, maybe sometimes it could be an hour. I'll be honest, I don't see it getting to 0.0049 again. I think the bottom might be 5/8. You may be right. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you have to stay strong in these situations. I know if you have an investment and you don't want to raise your cost base, if you truly do believe in it way above this point, and I do believe in it way above this point, then you can invest into it heavy. But the point is that I want to get to a level to where I don't care if the market absolutely crashes. I don't believe it will find a way to get to that level ever again. If you do feel like it's never going to get to that level ever again, then you're always going to remain in profit. That's the way that I feel. And I love the fact that I can always remain in profit. That's why I've done the same thing with Terra Luna Classic. I haven't invested anything more into that position. And I was able to buy at $40 and stay, or sorry, not $40, buy with $40, and stay as that main purchase of, $40 and getting so many. I did take profit, and you have to go through the math there, but ultimately it leads back to the fact that I only spent $43 on the position. And that's what I want to do with Jasmy coin. That's what I want to do with a lot of my positions. I made that mistake with Shiba Inu, and I invested really, really low. I think it was like 0.0002 or no, 0.000 like 15 or something. I can't remember, but it was low. Then I raised my cost basis by adding more. Now, I did end up burning a lot of my Shiba Inu coin as well. So it kind of got mixed up as to what my actual cost basis is. But with everything dropping down, I should have waited until it got to 0.0009 to buy all of those coins. But I decided to wait until it got up to 0.000 like 2, 4 or something. And I ended up buying the most of it around those levels. I did buy some lower, but not as much as I should have. So I raised my cost basis rather than decreasing it. So I typically like to, decrease that cost basis. Let's see. The Blaze token has burned some amount of SHIB this week. Their first burn. What'd you think? I heard about it, a little bit about it, but I haven't dove into it. I heard they did a burn, which is great to have any type of burns, but I don't want to jump to what it means, you know, because I haven't looked into it heavily. You have to take profit at some point. You do. Dude, I did a 200x short trade on Pepe, got totally wrecked. Dude, no warning. Yeah, I hear you. I don't know what happened with Pepe. Did it crash hard? He used to have a black Honda Civic. Um, I think when he's with you for college interview. You think he was with me for a college interview? Used to have a black Honda Civic. Um, Victor, black Honda Civic. I don't know. Like recently have a black Honda Civic? Do you know, does he have a brother? Do you know his brother's name? If you know his brother's name and he has a brother, say what his brother's first name is, and then I'll know who it is if he has a brother, because I know of a Victor that had a black Honda Civic, but I know his brother's name. He didn't go with me for college though. Do you still have Doge on Mars investment? Thanks for replying. I don't. So I did have Dogecoin Mars when I was on Gate.io, but I don't have Dogecoin Mars anymore because I had to sell everything over in that platform, and at that time, Dogecoin Mars wasn't available in any platform that I had. I currently have a platform that you know, Elon is available on, but yeah, I don't know. I sold it because I didn't have a place to bring it to, you know, at that time period. And then I just didn't buy into it again. Um, and it wasn't even that much. It was like $25 or $50. It will be a new high. What will be a new high? It will hit a new high. Okay, let's see. Let's see. uh, Jasmy to the moon. Did you get SUI? No, SUI done. Just done in 1000x. That's fantastic. If you were able to get in on that 1000x, it's always difficult to find a play that you can get 100x, 200x, 300x on. Yes, eventually you can find a way to get to those levels, or sorry, not 100x, but maybe like 500 or 1000x, right? There's a lot of people that are looking for multiple X's. You know, I did say 100x would be a lot. 100x or 200x or whatever. It's definitely difficult to get to those levels because you never actually know what is going to fly off the shelves from the beginning. You know what I mean? It's very tough to know what people are going to flock to. They could flock to just a random thing because Twitter starts to starts to rumble about something, right? You'll see a bunch of people that say this is the next 100x, and then one of those tweets will fly off the shelves, will start to get a lot of traction, and when it does, that position that they called out will now have a ton of traction and continue to gain traction from more people that see it from the outside looking in. And then they start to FOMO into it as well. So it's not something, there's some that are created organically, but there's also some that you have various Twitter accounts that are just consistently putting out this position is going to blow. And then whenever a tweet goes viral, now you have this position that's gaining 100x. And it's never 100% confirmed that you're going to invest into the position that goes viral. But people take that risk, you know, every single time they see it, people take that risk. I'm holding 500K Jasmy. That's fantastic. Crypto I hold 470. I'm almost next to you. The ETH fees, gas are a little bit better today. Yesterday was crazy high, was it? I had no visual on it at all. Guys, if you haven't had a chance to hit the like button, please do so. With 174 people here, I appreciate you guys. Do you think LUNC can reach $1 by 2050? I think it, yes. So understand, I think it can reach $1 way earlier than that. But it all depends on so many different things, right? It's not just like, oh, it can reach $1 because of the overall market cap. And if we see it at $1, it would be a $6 trillion market cap. Can we see LUNC at a $6 trillion market cap? Well, it depends what the market is worth. I really don't think that we're going to have just any project be $6 trillion worth, right? But seeing it at multiple billions may be a thing. Seeing it at hundreds of billions could be a possibility, a very strong possibility. Everything's a possibility, but it doesn't mean that it will happen. The likelihood of it getting to a $6 trillion market cap is very slim, right? No matter if it's to 2050 or 3050. I really feel like it's really slim. It's going to be difficult. But I do believe that it has a chance to get to some of these levels, these price levels, not saying with the market cap, if we can find a way to see more and more burns. This is what this whole video was about. You know, it was about 54 billion that has been burned, almost 55 billion that has been burned. And just understanding if it's enough, if we're going to see this continue, if we're going to see lesser burns that are going through, right? We've been going through this for a clear month at this point, right? It's been a full month since like the second or the first or second of May. I think that's when I made my investment. I've been holding it for a year, and that may be a good title for a video. Give me a second. Yeah, that may be a good title. But anyways, yeah, we've been holding it for a year at this point, and we've seen all of these burns that have come through, right? From Binance, from the burn tax, from Lunatics token, you know, from MEXC and, you know, Cremation Coin and whatever, right? You have all of these different things that are burning. Sorry, a heck of a lot of Terra Luna Classic. It could be a lot more, right? If the burn tax was still at 1.2%, we could see a lot. If Binance was still doing 100% of their fees, we would see a lot more with that. If we applied pressure to some of these exchanges to where all of the exchanges would be the top burners, then that would be even better. That would be even more phenomenal. But we've kind of shut all of these doors, I guess, for a lot of these things that we felt like we should have probably learned from. The burn tax, we should have kept the 1.2%. It was successful at that moment. We did not see an increased volume when we decreased the overall tax. And we also didn't see DApps. We also didn't see creation affected, right? We didn't see any of that. There was no word on who it was affecting to see 1.2% burn tax, and we should have stayed at that point. And now we seem to be shutting it down every chance that we get. Every time it's created where it's like put the 1.2% back, we shut it down. For Lunatics token, they were burning. We were investing a lot into Lunatics token, and now we're not really investing as much. And I think we will see more success there. We will see more burns. But you know, since we are not making that move, it all depends on how much we invest into a project or this token in order to see it burn and give rewards. They've been paying out rewards left and right, but it's the whole burning side of things. We need to see it happen on the decentralized level or you know, central exchanges. If we're seeing these exchanges that are you know, the CEXs that are you know, now burning or now going through and creating a tax for the Lunatics token or for Terra Luna Classics themselves, now we have more and more burns that are going through as long as Lunatics token is sold on those exchanges. MEXC, again, another exchange that could be a major possibility to burning a hell of a lot. Another token, Cremation token, right? Cremation Coin. We could see this, you know, create something, you know, burn a lot, right? Different validators that are burning, right? You could see that. Individuals that are deciding to burn. different what's it called? Initiatives, right? We have burn a lot initiative that burned 61 or almost 62 million, and coin in that's burned. So we could see so much more within it if we decided to go the route of decreasing the supply rather than, hey, let's create something to make this, better right now. But in reality, it will not be better right now because nobody or very little amount of people are very small amount of people. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, are investing on the DEX side. A very large amount of people are investing on the CEX side as of right now. So if we could find a way to get the CEX side to implement something with a burn, it would be much bigger. The DEX side, we don't have people that are, no matter what use case we have, we don't have people that are buying on that platform. The majority of people are buying cryptocurrency for a gain, not because they want to utilize it, right? They're doing it for a gain. Anytime a use case is brought up, understand this. Anytime a use case is brought up for a cryptocurrency, they're always like, this is going to absolutely skyrocket in the future because this use case is going to be massive. Do you understand what's more important in that sentence, in that statement? The fact that it's going to be massive. And what happens when things are massive? It's about selling. It's about gaining your profit. It's not about using the coin. People say that, oh, Gala is going to be absolutely amazing. And it probably will be, right? Gala will make moves in the gaming space. But the point is that how many of those people that are investing right now are going to be utilizing Gala within that gaming space? Probably a very small amount. How many people are going to be selling that Gala when they see things start to skyrocket while people are buying it? A very large portion of it. So we got to understand that it's about establishing a use case, but it's not about putting your all into that. It's about understanding how you can grow that investment to something way bigger while still pushing that overall use case, but not putting your everything into that use case. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? People like to put so much into there, like, oh, this is going to be so amazing, but it's all, they all combined it with, I'm going to gain so much profit. Like, okay, what are you going to be a part of it? Or are you not going to be a part of it? That's the question. And it's so, like, I look at it every time and people are always like, we got to have a use case. We got to have a use case. And I'm like, you're right. You got to have some form of a use case for the future, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be today. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen today, right? Everything that we've seen that was built with Shiba Inu and for the ecosystem, I'm not saying none of that was utilized, but we're looking at things that are being launched and used, like the metaverse lands and all that stuff. They're not utilizing that today. Even though we have it established or whatever, they're not utilizing that today. The gaming, right? They're not utilizing that today. We're not seeing a ton that's going into it. We're not seeing NFTs that are being used into it. And people that are gaining value from those NFTs in a large way. And if you do see something like that, it's a very small subset of what it's doing, whatever that project is doing. So it's definitely eye-opening to me. We need KuCoin and others to implement it. Absolutely. Burn tax 3%. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I wouldn't be. I know a lot of people would be like, I don't want 3% of my position to go away. But you got to understand, if everybody is mandatory, it's mandatory to pay 3%, right? They will have to in order to see that investment. Now, that may be a little bit different for a lot of the day traders, where if you're doing 3% of a larger amount, it's very difficult. So 1% is usually okay. Like, they can deal with that 1% in, 1% out. 3% for a day trader, they're just not even going to try. So that's where you end up getting to a difficult spot. So I would say 1% would be great if we had it on every single transaction. If everybody was forced to do it, there would be no way to get around it. And with the hype that goes with it, saying how much is going to be with the burns, you see how much is affected there. Look at this, right? Just take this as comparison. Lunatics token. Lunatics token was doing a 1% burn, and they still are doing a 1% burn of their overall position. In the beginning, they were doing so much of a burn that they burned off 1% of their supply within, I think it was within like a couple of weeks. and they had to dial it back a little bit and throw some of that into LP because they were moving too fast. But the point is that they were burning down their own supply, right? And their own supply was burned down by 2% actually, because they burned off 10 billion and they burned off an extra 2 billion. I think they're at 12 billion right now. So burning off an extra 2 billion in a matter of a couple of weeks or a month, burning 2% of your overall supply is absolutely fantastic. Terra Luna Classic could have done the same thing, right? If it's mandatory every place that you buy it, you have a 1% burn. It affects the overall position in such a large way and gives you the opportunity and gets us back to where we want to get to. It's not about use case right now. It's about decreasing the supply, recovering the chain, restoring the algorithm, restoring or repegging USTC, getting everything back to normal, which we could have done if we would have stuck with it. But the point is that we're not sticking with it. We're seeing Binance that's dialing its burns back every single month. We're seeing less and less and less. And the burn tax is not really putting up that much of an effort. It still is burning, but it's not putting up that much of an effort because it's 0.2%. Lunatics token, they're not seeing enough volume to see any type of burns right now. And I think they will eventually, but they're not right now. MEXC stopped burning completely, even though they burned 1 billion. You had KuCoin. I think they're still doing their burns, I think, but they don't really get a lot of volume that goes through there. So we just need to focus on decreasing that supply in any way that we can. We should be looking at that, right? Not about just standard use cases and, all of that stuff. If we establish something that's great of what we can do, then we bring those people in and hire them to run through that as we see the supply where we need to see it. Does that make sense? Am I making sense to you guys? I'm sure someone has already asked, but what do you see coming from the Fed meeting? So we know that they're going to raise interest rates and then pause. It could be, this is where it gets a little bit tricky because there's positive news as well as negative news within there, and it all depends on how people react to it. We know ahead of time that they're going to raise interest rates by 0.25%. But how is that going to be affected? If we already knew that they're going to do that, then we should see the markets tumble based on that, because that's the negative news. However, the positive side of that is that it's going to be paused, right? You understand that we still have, CPI data that's going to come out later this month. We have inflation, we have inflation data that's going to come out later this month. We have the interest rate hike and how that's affected in the new month, which means next month we should be able to see how that interest rate hike does affect the overall inflation number. So we know that we get this inflation number expecting a little bit of a decrease. If we see another 1% decrease and it gets down to 4%, what we can expect for the next month before we see the pausing of this interest rate hike situation that they've been going through for the past however many months, getting us back to normal. We may end up seeing 3%. That may be positive news. So we may end up seeing an overall positive effect of this position or of what they're doing. So that's what I think is coming out of it, but it all depends on how people react to it. Right now, it looks like people are sort of positive overall with Bitcoin and Ethereum really running everything, but everything else, BNB, XRP, Cardano, a lot of things that are down a certain percent. And even SHIB, down to that drop zero, added zero. The Fed is going to continue to raise rates there for a while. And just wait for Redline Drifter, USTC repeg. The Lunic burns will be way higher. I don't know, man. I'm all for it. If the tax was 5%, holders receive 2.5% reflections, and 2.5% went to burn wallet. That would start getting the supply rolling, and holders would gain more for holding. Yeah, holders would gain more for holding, but a lot of the activity that happens within Terra Luna Classic is, day trading, very, very quick movements. We have a lot of people that are holding, but from a small amount. Let's say we have we have what, five? I don't even know how much we have in overall circulating supply at this point. 5 or 6 trillion. I think it's 6 trillion in circulating supply. So 5.8, 5.9 trillion in circulating supply, right? Probably, let's say 500 billion of that is going to be back and forths that are done on a daily basis, right? A majority of it, you're seeing a lot of people that are holding for a very, very long time. So it's always going to keep that supply. It's always going to keep that hold time up because we're holding, right? I'm holding. I've been holding for a year and adding, well, not adding more, but, with the staking and everything, I am adding more there. So people, and I also added more by being able to transfer from MetaMask over to some KuCoin as well as Terra Station or Station Wallet. Anyways, let's say you have 500 billion that is traded, day traded, and swing traded. So you have a lot of people that are moving back and forth. A lot of those transactions on a daily basis are because of that. And if you have a 5% tax or 3% tax, you start to do away with that. And that's what will be affected the most. Like for me and for a lot of people, they're holding and you're not going to see a transaction from them. And if you don't see a transaction from them until a certain point, you're not going to see that 3% hit in any way. But if you see day traders that are doing it, swing traders that are doing it, you're going to see that hit consistently. This 30 million that we're seeing, 100 million, 200 million, a lot of it is based off of multiple transactions from one day trader. You could see a day trader that trades it 5 times, 10 times in one day or something like that. So you need that. 1% is a great tax for every single bit of volume. If we could find a way to get all exchanges on board, which I haven't had any luck doing. I've reached out to so many different exchanges, but I have no connections. So, yeah. Boycott Coinbase and any other CEX not supporting LUNC. So I don't think that's the answer. I think that was before, but I don't think that's the answer. I think we need to kind of let them understand how they would benefit from it, but get it in front of their face. Right now, I can't get anything in front of their face. If we can tell you, hey, this is what's going to happen with Terra Luna Classic. If we can break down, we're currently at a $6 trillion, supply, overall supply. 2.3 is held by Binance, 300 billion is held by KuCoin, right? If we see this implemented, let's say on your platform, and it's implemented everywhere, if we can find a way to get it implemented everywhere, and you find a way to decrease that supply overall, not just in your position or in your platform, but everywhere, right? You should stay at the same value, at the same market, or at a higher market cap, right? So if the overall, at the same market cap at a higher price. So the overall supply comes down partly because you're decreasing your supply, but you should stay the same based off of a price raise. And that's something that CZ understands that is definitely a possibility because he does that with BNB. So you see that happen. Now you see people that are FOMOing into it because of the fact that that's overall circulating supply is decreasing. That raises the market cap. That raises the value of what it is, right? Now we're seeing the market cap increase, which is making the price increase that much more, meaning that his overall position is worth so much more. It could be worth, $100, $200 million at that point. And then as it starts to raise, now it's up to $400 million. We're starting to see it double and triple and get to higher market cap levels. So, I mean, it just makes sense. It just really does make sense to do it that way, but we have to get it in front of their face and how they are going to benefit from it if everybody decides to implement it. But I can't get it in front of their face. If we had a laid out plan of how this 1% burn, and Luna can be the first one that they all decide to implement a 1% burn, because eventually it's going to get to that point, right? Right now, you have a lot of projects that want to do some sort of a tax to help out their overall project or to give them some sort of funding or whatever. But all of those taxes are shut down by exchanges. Why? I have no idea. It should be um, part of their like contract. It should be part of when they decide to make it available on their platform, that they adopt everything that coin or that token wants to do. Right? If the token wants to burn through transactions, it should be able to burn through transactions. That's what the token is set up to do. That's what the coin is set up to do. So if the project says it wants to do this, they should adhere to the project. But right now, they're not doing that. Eventually, it will get to that point because projects won't want to be traded on exchanges if we get to more of a DEX side, to where it's heavier on the DEX side. In order to compete, CEXs will need to implement anything that the project is doing eventually. But we need the first one to be Terra Luna Classic. So, yeah. Hey, Matt, what will happen if the US dollar will collapse? Honestly, nothing. I think you'll still have people that are investing. So we may end up seeing, so I'm wrong, not nothing. If the US dollar is to collapse or have any type of I guess, understanding or thought that it is going to collapse, like we know it's going to happen in the next couple of months or something, you're going to see a lot of people that flock to other forms of currency. And these currencies can be translated to other like fiat currencies, right? And so if you go and buy cryptocurrency, you're buying a currency that holds a certain value, right? So the value could be $1 now, but if the value of the dollar shrinks to say 50 cents or collapses completely, right? Now you have to compare that to the euro or whatever other currency you can compare it to, but it's going to have a certain value, whether that's in US dollars or in whatever else. So, and the same thing with like gold and, collectibles and real estate. You may not have a value compared to the dollar, but you will have a value compared to everything else in the world. And I don't know what will happen with our money specifically, but when it comes to cryptocurrency, it should be safe. If not, and let me just say that I'm obviously not a financial advisor. I would love to become a financial advisor because I feel like I do give good information from time to time about budgeting, about saving, and all that stuff. Even though a lot of times I don't follow my own advice to myself because I'm like, you know, Eric is like, "Can I buy this?" And I'm like, I don't know if we should, but go ahead. So, and then the kids are like, "Can I have this toy or whatever?" And I'm like, it all depends what they did, right? If they cleaned their playroom and did all that stuff, maybe they can buy the toy. But still, I don't follow my own rules sometimes. But anyways, I think that cryptocurrency will probably rise. In a thought that people are rushing over to other forms of currencies. I saw CZ work at McDonald's in Vancouver as a teenager to help his family. Now he's worth 13.1 billion. Be nice to fast food workers. Really, you saw CZ working at McDonald's? That's always a great story when you have people that are working at certain places and then they become insanely wealthy. Not only just insanely wealthy, but just like have a mind that you would never expect, someone to have, right? You don't expect someone next to you to be like the smartest person. You don't expect the person next to you to be Stephen Hawking. A lot of people will um, try to compete, mentally, physically with the next person, right? And always think that they are smarter than them. It's not, you wouldn't think that CZ is standing right next to you and he's going to be worth 13.1 or whatever $billion. Well, I think his company is worth that. I don't think he's worth that. Maybe he is. I don't know what his net worth is. Maybe you're right. Maybe you looked it up. Uh, Bloomberg billionaires. So Um, his net worth is $22.9 billion. Interesting. Hmm. It's crazy though. It's crazy how funny things work out. Yeah, absolutely. I think the question should be, what will happen to stablecoins when the U.S. dollar collapses? Um, I don't even know about that. It depends what the stablecoin is, right? I feel like stablecoins can still also be compared to other. It depends like how many different pairings they have. It can be compared to other things rather than the U.S. dollar. And if U.S. dollar has 50-cent value, then it's worth double um, than what it was before. The cryptocurrency is not going to lose value. What's the price prediction according to you for LUNC in the next 6 months? That's tough, man. That's really, really tough. I would love to say a drop zero would be my price prediction because in the next 6 months, that would be the end of the year. I would love to say a drop zero is my price prediction for Terra Luna Classic. There are so many investors into this position. There are so many holders in this position. There's just a lot of people that believe in what this is and what this will be. But there's also miscommunication. There's also people that are voting down things that I believe should be there. And we seem to be fighting left and right on who is kind of in control, who's moving forward with different things that are being created, all of those things. Um, so I don't know. If we see an on ramp on Terra Station, which is something that I've been working on for a while. I've been reaching out to certain companies. I think it was MoonPay and Ramp to try and get them to do something. If they can find a way to implement the classic chain within their system, and we can see purchases of Terra Luna Classic directly on Station, that would be fantastic. But we can't right now. Like they said, adding the link to being able to buy. I talked to someone because we were discussing this whole on ramp situation. I have various videos on it saying how we are close to doing it, but we just need somebody else's help to get there. Um, we need to find a way for MoonPay and Ramp to implement that within their system. And if they implement the classic chain within their system, um, adding the button to go over to MoonPay to purchase it using that wallet is not difficult at all. But getting it on that platform, getting the classic chain on that platform is the difficult part because they have to do it, which it should be easy on their part. It's just they have to want to do it and we have to talk them into doing it. Um, an AI sentiment enough to hack crypto market and send everything to the moon. Enough to hack the crypto market and send everything to the moon? I don't think so. No. What do you think Lunic will run to in the next bull run? In the next official bull run, I think Terra Luna Classic will really, really run. Know that a drop zero is a $6 billion market cap, $5.8 billion market cap, which would be a 10x from where we are right now. And seeing two drop zeros would be a $60 billion market cap. Can I see Terra Luna Classic at a $60 billion market cap? Right now, it has more investors than it ever had before, right? Especially being at these low levels and seeing how many people see the opportunity and what it could be, and how many burns are going into it. The percentage of these burns versus any other project that's out there, it's way higher. Well, not any other project, any other um, you know, heavily invested or very, very popular project, right? You can see the burn rate of BNB is high. The burn rate of CRO is high because you saw 70% that burned off. BNB is doing quarterly burns, right? Even Ethereum is doing burns as well. So it's not at a higher rate, but still, um, you're looking at Terra Luna Classic that does have a high amount of burns. So what's the price? I honestly don't know. Somewhere in between that level. If we see more burns, we could see higher levels than that. But I think a drop zero and maybe to um, maybe halfway to another drop zero could be the way. So about 50% of a penny could be the way. But it really does just all depend on where people are flocking to. I think they will because this is a very popular position with a lot of potential. So they'll take these gains that they have within this position and throw it into something like Ethereum or something that they feel like is going to be an even bigger mover for them or consistent mover. Will it really drop a zero though? We go down when Bitcoin goes up, and it feels like we are going nowhere except sideways or down. Been happening forever. I'm here long term, just worried about it. I understand where you're coming from. I understand that right now we have a lot of people, and it was holding at the same point for a while. We had a lot of people that are invested into this for a long term play, right? You have basically 900 billion, almost a trillion people, or almost a trillion coins that are held being staked. And that's why you see the difference between the total and circulating supply. That's a lot, right? You have a high percentage of people that are holding it for a long period of time, which means that it has a high hold time. But the point is that we don't have a lot of day trading going into it right now. When you have a bullish market and you have a massive amount of people that are invested into it, you start to see day trading and swing trading that goes into it, creating more FOMO in people outside of it. So in the bull market, you're going to end up seeing a lot more of a push. It's just hasn't been a bull market. We've seen Bitcoin and Ethereum run, but we haven't seen a lot of the altcoins make any type of real moves. And the reason is because we're not in an altcoin market right now. We're still trying to get to a level to where Bitcoin and Ethereum compete, and then a lot of those gains will flow into some of the lower projects and some bigger money, some larger money will go into these larger projects without having to be gains because they see as how those are moving. So we're investing at a very low point. It hurts to see it get maybe even lower or stay here for a long time. It's better consolidating than crashing completely. If you're holding the position and it's crashing completely, it feels much worse. But consolidating for some reason, some people will look at it and they'll go, this is the worst thing ever. Consolidation leads to bull runs, leads to really, really big movement, typically. So I can't wait for that. And I think that will happen. I do think that it will drop a zero at minimum, obviously. I think it will get back to previous highs of these low times, right? So previous highs. And we'll see it retrace a little bit, get back to 0.000, maybe 5 or 4, and then it will start to increase even more. We'll see a retracement from that 0.00065 level. And then we'll see it skyrocket past 7 and 8, and then eventually drop that zero. I'm new to MetaMask. I've never used Sardine or anything else on that website to make a payment before. Can I trust all of them? So I don't know what Sardine is. I've used MoonPay. If you're looking to like buy cryptocurrency from MetaMask and you're looking to use MoonPay or whatever other platform they have, I always use MoonPay. Typically, if you're from the US and you're using your bank account, your bank's not going to approve it right away, and they may not approve it. They may not approve it the second time as well, but you're going to have to call them every time you're about to make a purchase, let them know that you're going to make a purchase in cryptocurrency and to approve it from MoonPay. But then for me, I have to make the transaction first, get denied, and then call them. And then they realize that they need to approve it, which is stupid. That's why I only bought $43 worth of Terra Luna Classic, because I had to go through that whole process at which they weren't available at the time I was going to buy it. So I was upset with that. So I think it's Ed Kim's AI will really make a LUNC takeoff. See, I feel like sometimes I'm lost in a lot of the things that are being done on the um on like the use case side, I would say. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a use case in any way, but on the use case side of it, I would say that I sort of check out after a while because I know that that is the future, but it's kind of not the now, you know? People aren't, like I said before, people aren't investing for the use case. People are investing for gains. And anytime it is brought up that anything will be done, it's always like I think it will take off. I think things will rise. I think we'll see absolutely things that skyrocket. I think we'll see a drop zero. All of it is about the price. It's never about what it will do for the project itself. It's always about what the price will be done. It's not saying what the market cap will be. It's about where the price will be, you know? So honestly, that's not a horrible thing. That's just where we are. And if we live with that and we understand that, then we don't simply just invest for only the long term, right? People that are investing and saying, I'm holding this, all of this forever, it makes no sense, right? You don't know what it will be. You have a thought of what the use case will be. You don't know how strong that use case will be, or if something else will come along that's better than that. And when use case does become a major thing, which could be during this bull run, when use case does become a major thing, um, then you're like, well, I invested into the wrong project here, just like you would with metaverse or AI. And I'm not saying that Terra Luna Classic is the wrong project. I just want to make sure that people are making these decisions based on what's in the now, and then also understanding a portion for the future. Does that make sense? It's not simply having money, it's about wanting more. And if you are a billionaire, greed is not having a level of satisfaction where you just live. I guess that's true. I always think that greed is a thing, right? Greed is a thing in every single person, whether you think it's not. Um, Greed is a thing in every single person. Um, and you have to be greedy at times, especially in a market where it's player versus player. You have to be. I'm not saying that you have to make sure everybody fails. I try to make sure I succeed as well as everybody succeeding. Um, when I buy into a position, I know that I may have a larger impact, but I don't buy that much. People always are asking me like, why don't you buy more? Why don't you buy more Terra Luna Classic? You could have 100 million. Hell, you could have 1 billion right now if you wanted to. And I'm like, you're probably right. I could have that much. But you know what? I don't. Because I don't want to sit here and be that person that affects how the price is moving by selling that much of a position. Um, I'd rather have a smaller effect, a smaller risk as well, um, and show people. Even some of the people that are here have more Jasmy coin than me, have more Terra Luna Classic than me, have more SHIB than me, and have more CRO than me. And they'll see my plan and they're like, all right, well, I can do this, I can do that. I can sell before his plan or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the point is that I know that I'm going to find a way to make profit throughout, whether that profit is, $400 million or 400,000 or $400. I know that I will find a way to make profit throughout the process. But other people may benefit more, and that's fine with me. I've I'm living a great life to be able to do this with you guys, have conversations with you guys, work from home. Anytime my kids are sick, I can take care of them. I can help out people that need to be helped out. I was able to help out my sister buy a house, and trusted her to pay me back for what she needed to pay me back, and she did. I'm helping out my brother get a car right now. Well, I already did, and it was a long process, but I'm able to do that stuff, and it's because of what I've established here, investing wise, as well as YouTube and working here. So I feel like I'm given a good life, even if it stops right here. I'm not saying like if my life stops, but if the growth stops right here, everything is great, you know? So I don't need that much more. Um, yes, I do have a form of greed where I would love to have a certain amount. Everybody has it. That's why you hold on to positions for longer than it should be. AMC, I held on to that longer than it should be. Well, I still think AMC can make a large move, but a massive move, but it seems like these hedge funds are going to continue to attack it until AMC is nothing. That's what it seems like. And I want to be a part of it. I've already gained something with it, my initial investment. Um, but I could have gained so much more. I could have sold my $80,000 worth when it was up to 70 $76. I could have sold some of it, $40,000 worth, and put that into crypto or into another investment or whatever. Either way, I think it would have lost value because everything in the markets really fell down. But I could have taken that realized profit. But then if I would have done that, I probably would have also had to pay taxes on that realized profit. So I'm glad I didn't. So I'm really glad I didn't actually. Because that would have been $40,000 I would have had to pay taxes on short term. So I'm greedy for Bitcoin. I want it all. Everybody's greedy for at least something. You know, I'm greedy as well. But I try to be less greedy around positions that I know I'm talking about, whether it's Terra Luna Classic or we go into my main portfolio, which I will do a full portfolio update over on Patreon today. I'm supposed to do one daily, but again, I've been freaking busy, super busy, and I want to spend a ton more time on Patreon. I didn't even upload any videos in the last like 2 days or something, and it's because of the whole car situation, which I will go through. But yeah, whether it's Jasmy or any position, right? Any of my assets. Um, I feel as though I don't even know where I'm going with this actually. Greed, I think it was. Oh man, I'm completely lost after. I always sidetrack, like have a kind of a sidebar, and Erica talks about this all the time. She's like, you're saying something, but then you stop what you're saying to say something completely different or something that applies with it, and then you don't go back to what the main point was. And if you do, you probably forgot about it. It's because honestly, that's important information. I feel like it's important information. And that's just the way that I function. And she lives with it because sometimes she doesn't get the full story of anything. I forget it. Like my mind keeps moving. So I'm always thinking of the next thing, not only that I can say, but the next thing that applies to what I'm about to say to make it a little bit more understandable. Kind of like a teacher's mindset where you're like, how can I explain this the best way? You know? Even though I'm not a teacher. Because I don't like presentations, even though I present myself on YouTube. I don't know. I don't get nervous on YouTube, but when I'm in front of like maybe 25 plus people, that's where I don't do well. You would think that I would, but I don't, right? Because my mind is always moving. And since it's always moving, I'm not only thinking about what I'm going to say, I'm thinking about your expressions. And I look at every single person that's in the crowd and I see their expressions. If anybody has a weird expression, I want to take that confusion that's on their face and explain it a little bit more. And then I completely go off the rails because I'm trying to explain to that person rather than, that person not understanding and probably getting it from somebody else, the other 24 people that do understand. So I don't ever think about that. Like I'm always looking at their face and I'm like, yeah, let me explain this a little bit more. I'm like, do you understand? The person's like, no, I don't understand. Other 24 people or however many people are like, yeah, I understand. But they could have got the explanation from somebody else that understands in the crowd. So I shouldn't have to cater to one person when there's so many other people that understand. That's because you're a genius, Matt. I don't think so. Matt will be greedy when they make Pokemon NFTs. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. I mean, we're already seeing NFTs from Funko Pop, and I'm excited about those anytime we have Marvel. I know they've released like DC Funko Pop NFTs and all that stuff. And I would love to have, if you don't know, I'm a collector of Funko Pops, like Marvel Funko Pops. And I have a few rare ones, some that are worth a couple of thousands of dollars, and some that are worth a couple of hundreds of dollars. But the point is that my overall collection, I think, is worth about $7,000 when I only paid I don't know, about 2,000 for it. I paid 900 for the one that's worth $2,800. It was worth 4,000, and I think it will be worth about $7,000 or $8,000 during the Loki series. But yeah, we'll see. And I could probably get $7,000 or $8,000 for it, but I don't know if I will sell it. I honestly want to get it autographed by Tom Hiddleston. So we'll see. Super chat. Oh, I want you to know how Carl. I want to know how Carl the leg ligger is doing. So Carl passed away. Yeah, Carl passed away like a month ago, 2 months ago. Um, yeah, for I had to take him in for like a that wasn't a checkup. He was like being weird. He was laying down um too much. He wasn't moving, and we were wondering why. He wasn't using his back legs. We were wondering why. So we were like, "Oh, does he have another bladder problem? We can get that fixed. We'll pay another $1,500 or $2,000 for it to get fixed if that's the case." Um, but we went in there. They were like, "Yeah, he has fluid in his lungs. He has fluid everywhere." And yeah, they had to put him down. So they recommended that we put him down, which we were shocked because we thought we were gonna go in there. They were gonna like do something. At worst, it would be the same surgery. But they were like, yeah, we don't know where the fluid's coming from, and a lot of times you're gonna pay a hell of a lot of money in order to do that. And you're gonna put if you don't know where it's coming from, you're just continuing to have fluid flood his lungs, which you don't know how that's gonna affect his body. So it was definitely a sad moment to have him put down and go through that situation. Um, I don't think I was live for like 3 days. I don't think I was posting videos for like 3 days or something like that. So yeah, it's pretty sad. Um, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the super chat. Uh, good morning, Matt. Have you heard of Blaze Token? They burned 2 billion yesterday. I heard a little bit about it. I heard about the 2 billion, but I didn't know exactly how they did it. I don't know how much that's worth. How much is 2 billion worth? Not saying like, oh, it doesn't mean anything, but that's great that they burned 2 billion because they basically burned a lot compared to other projects, as well as, and it is at a low price, which is fantastic to do it at these times. Um, a lot compared to even the burn portal, honestly. So I haven't heard too much about it, but I have heard that they burned 2 billion. So it's great. I haven't looked into it, so I don't want to sit here and talk about it and be like, oh yeah, that's the best project ever or anything like that when I haven't, fully looked into it to understand, what's being done. Because honestly, there's been other projects, and I'm not going to shut this project down. There's been other projects that have burned a lot, but they turned out to not do anything. They just lived off the hype and took whatever people are investing into that project with them and just cashed out all the money. Now, I'm not saying that's what Blaze Token is going to do, but I would like to look into it for full transparency first. Um, your thoughts? Oh, I read that. That is sad. Yeah, it's pretty sad. I really liked Carl. You liked him. I liked him. The stock market is open. I don't even think let me go. Let me see. I'm not even logged in. Got to log into to Weeble. AMC. I'm a fan of AMC. It's currently down about 1%. Hopefully, we could see this skyrocket. I would love to see AMC worth so much more. Um, but it really all depends. I mean, you're looking at the short interest, understanding that the short interest is um, ridiculously high, and yeah, I haven't really invested in many different plays outside of the ones that I've been kind of stuck on a day trade on. I gotta install a new update. Didn't Levi used to be Crypto King? Yeah, he did used to be. He was Crypto King, and I think he changed it for good reason. I mean, it makes sense. You're kind of, as you being Crypto King, that also puts you in the same, as the same name as Crypto King, the person that screwed over Logan Paul, which Logan Paul didn't take the blame of, putting him there, understanding that he doesn't really have the greatest track record. Um, so yeah, that was a little bit weird, but he has changed his name. Crypto King changed his name a couple of months back. Did he explain why he changed his name though? Like, did he put out a video? I haven't watched one of his videos and I don't even know how long. I literally haven't watched much YouTube. I've been watching last night. The reason why I'm not on at like 6 a.m. or anything, um, why I started today at like 8 or so, is because I was watching the game last night, the Warriors versus the Lakers. Great game. Everybody's upset with Jordan Poole and his shot that he took. I was okay with it. I understand he could have stepped in a little bit, but the way they were rotating, they wouldn't have gotten a shot off. So whether people think that he could have stepped in or not, I feel like they were rotating very fast and he wouldn't have been able to. It was a good shot. It was right on line. It was just short. And that's why people are saying that he should have stepped in. But if he would have made it, nobody would have said a damn thing. Nobody would have said, I hate that shot by Jordan Poole because he makes it, right? So it was, I don't know. I'm not really the biggest Jordan Poole fan because I feel like he, is reckless with the ball a lot of times. Um, Kind of like a Westbrook, but like somebody who can shoot threes rather than Westbrook who really can't shoot threes that well. But it was a good game. Not sure. I'm unsubscribed from his YouTube a while ago. Yeah, I haven't watched many of his videos, like any of his videos actually. And I'm not saying like I won't watch his videos. It's just I haven't watched much YouTube. Uh, why are none of you LUNC influencers talking about Terra Luna Classic not working? Can't withdraw my rewards. Can't stake. Who's working on it? So it is working. If you're doing it, if you're using the mobile app, so on your phone, which is most likely what you're doing, it's going to be difficult to do anything because it's not fully integrated um, uh, with the new update. So, or it's not new at this point, but the newest version, right? So if you do it on the Terra Station desktop application, so this, right? I withdrew my rewards. I can stake. I can do whatever I want within this process. I just withdrew my rewards earlier this morning, and I withdrew like 130,000 and it worked. You can stake anything you want as long as you have something free. I can go and stake it if I want to, but you're probably using the mobile app. Try to use the desktop application. Go on a desktop, and you will easily get through with that. Um, that's sad, Matthew. I saw him a couple of times. Yeah, yeah. Carl was definitely my best friend here. He was the only other guy in the house, And now I'm talking about. I'm kind of upset because my it's sort of upset. So I always wanted a boy dog because we have a girl dog. We have Emmy, and she's great. I trained her. She's fantastic. She listens to everything that I tell her to do. Besides, if we go upstairs and leave food on the coffee table, she's eating it. There's no doubt about it. She's gonna grub it down. And now if we even leave it on the table behind the couch, she goes up on the couch, grabs it, and brings it to the floor. Um, she does that, but she listens in most cases. Like I can tell her to sit, tell her to stay, and she'll stay there until I come back, which um, I didn't realize that she does that, or that she does that to an extent to where if I tell her to stay and then I go downstairs and come back up, she's still in that same spot. So I got to not tell her to stay because I don't want her to come downstairs because she tries to get in the litter box. Um, I got to tell her to stay, and or not tell her to stay. Just say don't come down here and like shoo or something. Because if I tell her to stay, she's going to stay in the same spot for a very long time. And that's cruel. I didn't realize that. Or maybe it was a coincidence that she was in that spot. But anyways, once again, I wanted we want a boy dog. So the reason why I'm upset about this is because when I said I wanted a boy dog, I wanted to name him Loki because I'm a fan of Marvel and Loki is my favorite character. He's like a person that everyone loved to hate in the beginning and now everybody really, really likes. So Loki is my favorite Marvel character. And I wanted to name the dog Loki. But my mother-in-law got a new dog and named him Lukey just recently. And I've been saying this for years that I wanted to name the next dog that we get Loki. And Lukey was the name that they had for the dog. And now Erica's like, you can't name the dog Loki because it's too close to Lukey. And I'm like, that's BS. Like, you can't do that just because someone else decided. I mean, they got to the name first, right? So then I was like, all right, well, I guess we'll name him Groot or like Rocket or Rabbit or something. But this is my dog Rabbit. Like, I don't know. I really don't know, and I'm upset about that because we wanted to get another Shiba Inu, and like I said, name it Loki. So, anyways, Carl was my best friend because he was the only other boy in the house. We bonded on stuff. He would sit on my lap all the time. We would just chat it up. I think he said he didn't want to be associated with the scammer Crypto King. Yeah, of course. I mean, people were probably messaging him saying, "Hey, stop scamming people." um, they lowered their forward guidance, only making shit ton of money instead of ton of money. Stock is down 6%. You're talking about Starbucks getting hammered. Let me see. What's their? I don't know why I'm doing that. Starbucks getting hammered. What's their ticker symbol? I don't know what Starbucks. I'll just type it in. Starbucks. Starbucks Corp. Down 6, almost 7%. Wow. Yeah, definitely getting hammered. AMC's up though. That's good to see. Seeing a little bit of retracement down to the VWAP. I used to love day trading stocks, and I always get into it, but then I'm like, I always go, like short term or like a little bit longer term. I'll do like a swing trade instead of a day trade. I love day trading. I can make money, and I've had plenty of occasions to where I make, $80, $100, $200, $500, whatever. But then, I get stuck on like swing trading because it's something where it has the least amount of work that you still have to do a lot of work, but at least amount of work in the short term that you would have to do, right? Because with day trading, I have to watch it. Swing trading, I don't have to watch it, right? I can watch it for a little bit, figure out what it's going to do based on that information, and then either get out or wait till it gets to a certain level. I can set my what's it called, my stop loss. I can set everything that I wanted to set in more of a swing trade because it's easier knowing where you're going to go a little bit more in the future rather than a few minutes or 30 seconds or whatever it ends up taking. Like this can skyrocket up to $6 at some point, right? Where we can see it continue to move. I could see this at 41 cents and see it at 58 cents and make whatever sell I wanted to make there within a number of minutes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes instead of, so I don't usually set any type of stop loss. I'll set a mental stop loss, but not a physical one. You have two Doberman Shepherds. Their names are Smith and Weston. I love that. That's a great combo name there. I like it. Blaze token is like Lunatic's token. They both are trying to accomplish the same thing, reducing the supply. I haven't bought any yet because of how high the gas fee is to buy. Are they on Ethereum? Well, it's great to always have something that's going to, burn, you know, uh, Terra Luna Classic or Shiba Inu or whatever it is. I think Blaze is that burning Shiba? Except for Shiba, you have to burn a lot more. Like it gets to one 1,000 billion, 1,000 billion in order to burn a trillion. Honestly, we should be there by now. With how little it costs to get to a billion, we should be there by now. We should be at least 500 billion that we've burned off. With how many times this Shiba Inu has hit an added zero, we should definitely be there. I'm very hungry right now. How are you guys doing? Hungry? Not hungry? AMC earnings report May 5th. CEO said he will talk about the company's sizable cash position. Speaking of AMC, I saw somebody post about AMC's popcorn in Walmart, and I haven't went to buy it yet. I went to Walmart and I forgot about it. I may end up getting it today. Has anybody had it? I would like to get the one that you cook in the microwave. See how buttery it is. See how delicious it is. If it tastes like AMC popcorn or not. I'm sure it does. I'm sure their kernels are 10 times different, right? They like soak them in butter. Ugh. How's everybody doing today? Any interesting things that anybody investing into certain plays that they're confident in? We did hit 16.3 K followers. It seems like this got a little bit of traction. Question for you, Matt. I haven't yet learned how to transfer crypto out of the exchange. So how do you know what crypto to use for the fees? I haven't yet learned how to transfer crypto out of exchange. So how do you know what crypto to use for fees? Um, Out of an exchange? An exchange, when you transfer crypto out of it, let's say if I want to withdraw something, and if I go over to advanced, let me see, for any exchange, you're going to pay a fee in the token that you're trading for any exchange. For DeFi platforms, for decentralized platforms, you're going to see that you use whatever network you're under. So if you're under Binance Smart Chain, you're going to use BNB. If you're under Ethereum, you're going to use Ethereum, right? So and so on and so forth. So if you go over here and you go to trade, let's say on an exchange, right? If I somehow make this move, just like when you buy on an exchange, you're paying a certain amount of a fee in that token, or it's costing you a certain amount there as you're making that transfer. It'll be the same way if you're deciding to get out of the position. Now, if you withdraw money from the exchange, there should be nothing to do with that. That's withdrawing money. You have nothing that you have to pay. However, if you're selling a cryptocurrency, that's a different story. So if I go to, let's say, go to just Ethereum to USD, and I wanted to sell my Ethereum, you're going to see that I do have Ethereum in here. You're going to see that if I put one Ethereum here, it's going to give me whatever the estimated fee is, but the fee is going to be, in dollars that I receive. So if you're buying it, you pay it in Ethereum, or you're paying a certain fee in dollars. Just buying it because you are going from dollars. This is probably the most difficult way of looking at it because it is an exchange rather than doing it through just a standard platform. But anyways, you're going to pay within dollars. on this exchange. And most exchanges, you should do that. You're going to pay within whatever you convert to or from. But when you're fully leaving the exchange, you don't pay anything. So if I take my USD and withdraw it, so I go to Coinbase here, and I want to look at my assets, and I go to USD and want to withdraw my USD, right? Buy and sell. So no, that's not it. I don't even remember how to do it actually. Not send and receive. I'll figure it out. I haven't done it in a while. But either way, it doesn't cost you anything to withdraw it from Coinbase. It costs you on exchanging it. So if you have BTC and you're selling BTC, or you have Ethereum and you're selling Ethereum, it's going to cost you a certain amount, from whatever the platform charges. Hopefully that makes sense, because for some reason I can't find out how to withdraw my money from here. I believe it's very simple, but I'm not seeing how simple it is. And I also don't want to show you something that you're not supposed to see. So give me a second. All it. Yeah, this is getting on my nerves here. Let's go to USD. It was right there. So when you go here, right? When you go here, it's going to tell you like all your different data, but you can go add cash, or I'm not going to show. You can go add cash, or you can go cash out, and you won't have to pay any fee to actually cash out your overall amount there. Anyways, thank you for reminding me. I had to do my weekly BTC buy. Cronos has partnered with Altora to bring Web3 infrastructure to the Cronos ecosystem. I'm confident in Kadena. Just wanted just wait until the next bull run. You're probably right that it may move towards the next bull run. You know what I'm confident in? Krill. I can't wait until Krill makes a major move. Right now we're sitting at a 28-cent price, and we're looking at a $10 million market cap. This is worth so much more, and I understand how, within this year we've seen this go, as high as 94 cents. We did see it go as high as $1.80 at some point, but throughout, from when it got introduced on Coinbase, we saw this all the way up to basically $5. And honestly, at $1, it's a $38 million market cap. Can this be worth a lot more than that? Abso-freaking-lutely, it can be worth more than that. So that's why I'm holding 10,000 KRL, because Krill should be worth a lot more. And yes, my all-time returns is what it shows here. I do have, I don't have a gain in there. I invested some decent money into it. I don't have a gain in that. I have a gain in FarmCoin, a heavy gain in FarmCoin, but not in KRL. And I do believe that this is going to have a ton of growth. There's so much there. Today there will be blood in the streets. I can smell it. I mean, you might be right, but you might also be wrong. You never know how people are going to react. And that's what's the interesting thing about it. The unknown is what makes it very, very interesting. Yeah, we will see. We will see. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody being here today. I know we've been live for about an hour and 38 minutes here. I appreciate everybody being here today. I want to take some time to edit a little bit of a golf short. I want to edit a full golf video, but I don't think it'll be enough time. So I'm going to edit a golf short. I'm going to find the different topics I want to talk about today, which I think I already have some of the topics because we talked about it during the live stream. Anyone a fan of ETFs or index funds? You should be, at least a little bit. Anyways, guys, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Do I still believe in LUNC to 1 cent? Yes, absolutely. 1 cent is a $60 billion market cap. If I don't think that LUNC can get to a $60 billion market cap, then I don't believe in it, right? I think it definitely can get to a $60 billion market cap. It's the price points above that where we have to see more burning that's happening. A 2 cent price is not unbelievable, right? That's up to $120 billion market cap, and anywhere below that, I can definitely believe in the price hitting easily at these levels. But um, as we're starting to see people talk about levels to 5 cents and $1 and all these other levels, it's definitely something where you have to see burns. You have to see a decrease in supply, which we can see. We definitely can, but I think exchanges have to be the major part to do it because that's where the volume is. Volume will never be on the DEX side. Maybe we can find a way to flip it, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. Right? People are still believing in exchanges. It could have happened while exchanges were seeing a ton of or a lack of trust in a ton of those exchanges, but it didn't. Right? And if it didn't happen then, what makes you think it's going to happen when people actually believe in exchanges? So we have to see the volume or the overall supply decrease on that side because it will not be on the DEX side, and they will find a way to make sure that's a thing, right? To offer you different stuff, to offer you different APYs, to offer you the next best thing, zero fees or whatever, in trading. And as long as there is no on ramp on some of these platforms, an easy on ramp without paying fees or whatever, or paying very low fees, you're not going to see a ton of people use these platforms because you're still paying a higher fee than you would in an exchange, right? If you go and buy in Binance, what are you going to pay? Nothing. You're using Binance Convert? Absolutely nothing. If you go and buy on the Ethereum network of MetaMask, what are you going to do? You're going to buy Ethereum, and now you also have to use that Ethereum to purchase whatever you want to purchase, and it's also going to cost you probably $15 to make a swap. So right now, DEXs really aren't the way, and whether we want to think that way or not, we have to find a way to do everything we want to do on the CEX side and get it implemented there. Fight for that. And the fact that we're not fighting for it really tells us a lot. We need to fight for it. Well, thank you, Jet, for watching. I appreciate it. All right, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. Thank you to anybody that sent a super chat. The 10 memberships that were sent, I was supposed to go to members only, and I will go to members only. It will be something that we do a lot more frequently. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell for more videos like this one. Also, make sure you guys check out some of the links that are down below for my Patreon, for my Discord group. If you want to find a way to reach out to me directly through private message through Discord or private message through Patreon, easiest way to do it. I try to respond to every single one in a timely manner. Again, I was not really available this past weekend or so, but I definitely will be more available, especially right after this live stream. So if you want to go over there and chat it up with me, feel free to do that. And yeah, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. As Fire King says, good luck with your trades. Definitely.